And in polar coordinates, you have an r and you have a theta. R deals with what, guys? You need the notes. They're over there in that purple folder. It is the what? The ring, or the more mathematical, it's the distance in terms of rings. Okay, distance in terms of rings.
So red.
No. Your theta is your angle. Okay, so on number 1, the first thing you do is you locate 90 degrees. Locate 90 degrees. It is north, pi over 2. You're going up to ring 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to call this point A.
Oh, does it stand for radius?
I think it stands for ring.
I think it stands.
It's like
I can see that. Yeah.
it's a ring, like radius from the center distance.
Okay, model students, we can debate this another time. Okay, thank you. Number 2, negative 2 comma 0. 0 degrees. It's over here. But since that r is negative 2, will we go toward the 0 or opposite direction? Opposite direction. So I'm going to call that point B. This is point B. 3, 6 comma pi over 6. Find the pi over 6 first. I'm coming out to the 6th ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's point C. 4, 5 pi over 3 is here. I find the angle first. However, I go to the pole. Normally I would have went out to the 2nd ring, but since that r is negative, instead of being quadrant 4, so I'm in quadrant what? 2 on that pi over 3 family member. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go to the pole of the origin and come out 1, 2. And that is point D. Is everybody good with that? Number 5, negative pi over 3. Normally pi over 3 is here, but since today I'm being quad 4, I go to that pi over 3 family member and I go to the pole. The pole is another name for the origin. And come out to the 1st ring. I'm going to call that point E. Negative 2 pi. Go to the pole, find pi. The r is negative there. You're going to be going in the opposite direction, going toward 0. So this is going to be point F. Number 7, negative pi over 4 would be here in quad 4. However, since it's negative 3, you'll be in quad 2. 1, 2, 3. And if you need to go around there and label your pi over 4s, you certainly can. 135 is in quad 2 at this pi over 4 family. And you want negative 2, so you're going in quad 4 in opposite direction. So it's right here. I'm going to call that point H. I did upload the video last night. If you were absent, you can watch that for more instruction on this. Are there any questions on 1 through 8? Alright, the next part says convert. The second learning target was I can convert polar coordinates to rectangular coordinates. And the rectangular coordinates is your x and y coordinates, okay? I'm going to do the first 3 and then we're just going to call the answers out to the last 2. Alright. So we're going from polar to rectangular. Rectangular, I need to know an x coordinate and I need to know a y coordinate. The equation, yes?
I figured it out.
What is it?
The point with polar coordinates r theta has rectangular coordinates x equals r cosine theta and y equals r sine theta. So it means rectangular coordinate.
Well, now the r,
like the x and the y.
that but
that says.
yes, but that r in the formula don't mean rectangular. That means to convert. Here, that is how you convert to rectangular. The r is talking about the ring, the distance. Okay.
It's in order pairs.
Nice try. Can you send that a little bit, please?
The formula for x is r cosine theta. Learned this yesterday. If you didn't, Zach just announced it again to the class. X equals, I'm not going to call him, R is 3 cosine pi over 2. What is the value of cosine pi over 2?
0.
0. So x equals 0. Y, the formula for y is R times what?
Sine.
And you get 3 times 1, which is 3. So your ordered pair is 0, 3. All right. Number 10. I have negative 2, 0. So I have x equals r cosine theta. Y equals r sine theta. Okay. Your ring is negative 2 cosine 0. Cosine 0 is what, class? Y equals negative 2 sine of 0. That gives me 0. My ordered pair is negative 2, 0. Yes, that's weird. It ended up being the same thing as the original. And number 11, I have 6, 150. X equals r cosine theta. X equals 6 cosine 150. What's the reference angle for 150?
30.
Thank you, Max, for answering my question. Guys, what I could do right now, if you do not want to participate, I have 2 quizzes in that box. If you don't, I can just give you the quiz and we can go from there. Oh, we're going to participate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's start that now. What is the reference angle for 150?
30.
30, thank you. And it is in quad what? 2. So your cosines will be what? Negative. Now, if you miss that negative, it's no partial credit because by this point in time, you should know your trig values. That gives you negative 3 square root of 3. And I can cancel that because there's no plus or minus there. Okay? Y equals r sine theta. Y equals 6 sine 150. Sine is positive in quad 2, so 6 times 1/2 is 3. So my ordered pair is negative 3 square root of 3 and 3. Okay? Number 12, you should have got negative 1/2 comma square root of 3 over 2. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Number 13, you should have got square root of 2 comma negative square root of 2. Do you agree with that? If you don't, tell me because I did those kind of quickly. Are we good on those? So remember, when you go from polar to rectangular, you need an x and a y. So what's your x and y equations? Now, the next part, number 14, I'm going to call these answers out. You can tell me. Number 14 is 3, 0. You get the same thing that you started with. 15, square root of 2, comma 7 pi over 4. Number 16, 3 square root of 2, comma 3 pi over 4. Number 17, 2, comma pi over 3. 18, 4, comma 4 pi over 3. Which one of those do I need to work? 15. What's another one? 17. Is there another one? Just those two? Okay. Are you sure? I'm going to work 18 as well.
What did you say 16 was?
16 was 3 square root of 2, comma 3 pi over 4. Do y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to work 15, 17, and 18. Okay, so the third learning target we did yesterday was converting rectangular to polar. If you're going from rectangular to polar, what's the 2 things you need for polar? You need an r and a what? Theta. You need an r and a theta. The r formula is square root of x squared plus y squared. And theta, you use the tangent of theta equals y over x. So number 15. I have 1 comma negative 1. What quadrant is 1 comma negative 1 in? 4. You need to go and put that because you're going to need to refer back to that, okay? Now, r equals square root of x squared plus y squared. That's going to be 1 squared is 1, negative 1 squared is 1, r equals square root of 2. So that's your first thing in your ordered pair. Now we're going to find our angle. Tangent of theta equals y over x. Tangent of theta equals negative 1 over 1. What angles give you a tangent of 1? Do not say pi over 2. It's not a major point. It's pi over what? 4. Where's tangent negative at? Quad 2 and... What family members are in quad 2 and 4? Well, the only one you need is which one? 4, which is 7 pi over 4, isn't it? And that's your ordered pair. I'm sure. And I know that's polar because you got radians. That's a degree. Okay? Are there any questions on 15?
How do you know it's in quad 4? Do you just look at the signs of the...
Yeah, it's like there's a positive x and a negative y. So quad 4. All right. Let's look at 17. Square root of 3 and 1 r equals. When I square root of 3, that's just going to leave me what? 3. Square root of 1, that's going to be 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay? Tangent of theta equals y divided by that. Well, when I get that, by now you probably can rationalize in your head. What quadrant is this in the original? Quad what? They're both positive. 1. We want to know which theta from quad 1 will give me square root of 3 over 3. Pi over 6 or pi over 3? Pi over 6. So my ordered pair is 2, comma, pi over 6. Did I say that wrong when I called it? I did pi over 3, didn't I? Sorry. Okay, number 18. R equals. I'm going to square the negative 2. It's going to be 4. Now, when you square this right here, the negative 2 is squared. That gives me 4 on it. The square root cancels out. What's 4 times 3? 12. So that's going to be 4 because square root of 16 is 4. Tangent of theta equals negative 2 square root of 3 over negative 2. That cancels out. Tangent of theta equals square root of 3. We'll go back to the original problem. What quadrant is this coordinate in? 3. Okay? We got a positive tangent. That would be in quadrant 3. Which one will give you a positive tangent square root of 3? Pi over 6 or pi over 3? You want the pi over 3. It's in quad 3, which is 4 pi over 3. So your ordered pair would be 4 comma 4 pi over 3. Are there any questions on your homework? I'm going to come around and look at your homework. Alright, let's look at our first learning target today. Yesterday we were converting coordinates. What are we converting today, guys? Equations. Alright, so let's turn to page 3 in your notebook. At the top of page 3, you see a lot of a box with formulas. You need to know those 4 formulas by heart because you're going to use those a lot. Okay, when converting from rectangular to polar, we're doing that first. Try to get r in terms of theta by using needs to be r. Okay, needs to be r equals. Okay, so right now we can tell these are rectangular equations because they have what in them, TJ? Why are these known as rectangular equations? What is it?
X and
X and Y. Very good. They have X and Y. So we want to go to polar. In order to go to polar, all the X and Y's need to disappear, okay? They need to disappear. And when you get to polar, at the final answer, R needs to be by itself, okay? So making the mental note, R needs to be by itself. What can I replace Y with? That means the same thing as Y. Y equals, what's that formula we learned?
F(x).
No.
R sine theta.
R sine theta. Y is equal to R sine theta. So I can replace Y with R sine theta equals 2. Now remember, I just said you need to get R by itself in your final answer. I'm going to divide both sides by sine theta. When sine theta goes to the denominator, you can rewrite it as 2 what? 2 cosecant theta will be your answer. Jay, what do you think we can replace X with? And then divide both sides by what, class? And when cosine goes in the denominator, I can rewrite that as negative 2 what? Very good. This formula right here, guys, y equals square root of x squared plus y squared, originates from this right here. Oh, that's supposed to be y squared, I'm sorry. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. I just corrected it. Just corrected it. Right there. Alright. So I want my x's and my y's to disappear. What could I replace x squared plus y squared instantly and it's gone? What is it? Y squared. Yep. You want your r to be by itself, so how do you get rid of that square? Take the what? When you take the square root of something, you got to put plus or. There's your answer. Same thing over here. If you could break the square root down, you would, but here I cannot, so it's just square root 10. And that is how you convert from rectangular to polar. Are there any questions in your first learning card, Kodo? I need a hand signal. Do you understand? Good. Okay. Those are the easy ones. The second one's more little. You have to think a little bit more, okay? All right. Second one, we're going from polar to rectangular. So, guys, on these bottom ones, all this r and theta, it's got to disappear. You got to get rid of r and theta. Okay. So on number 7 here, we got r equals 5. Is there a formula where we could just substitute something for r here? No, there's nothing here, but we can do something to here. What will make our life easier that was in this problem, Sean? Square r. Because if r was squared, we could replace it with x squared plus y squared, couldn't we? But if we square one side of the problem, that's it. So you don't square both sides. So I'm going to square this side, square this side. So r squared equals 25, and then replace r squared with x squared plus y squared equals 25, and that's your answer. And you notice your answer because the r's are gone, the thetas are gone. So I needed this to be squared so I can get rid of it. In my mind, the easiest thing was if r squared is there, then I can take it out and replace it with x squared plus y squared. So I said, okay, can I do that? Well, it's legal. Just remember, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. That can be mathematical legal. So if I square that r, then I'm going to square the other side. Using this special, what if I didn't need to square? I just need to multiply both sides by r. Well, if you multiply one side by r, you need to do the other side by r. Okay, you can do that. All right, on number 8, what do we need to do on number 8? Just square both sides again. So r squared equals 9. Replace r squared with x squared plus y squared equals 9, and that is your answer. Now I want you to take a moment to look at number 9. What will make our life easier in this problem? Yeah, getting rid of sin theta, but how could we get rid of that sin theta? Talk in your group for a minute, because I really want you to figure that out. Talk in your group right now. What I mean, talk.
I guess you do something up here.
All right, let me ask you this. Would it do you any good to divide both sides by sign? No, that's not a solution here. Someone share with me what you think.
Could we divide it by 8?
No, that would do much here. What else? I kind of gave you a hint earlier. Okay. Of all the groups, no one thought of something.
Well, Tyler said y equals r sine theta.
Okay, good. That's the path.
But I don't know where we would get it from there.
Okay, Sean, what could you do there? Yes, I need an R there next to sine, don't I? Is it legal? Could I multiply both sides by R? Yeah, if I do it to one side, I can do it. I need an R right here. And then I can replace it with what? Y. So yes, you can do that. That's a strategy. So I'm not going to square it. I'm just going to multiply both sides by R. That gives me R squared equals 8 R sine theta. Now I can replace R squared with X squared plus Y squared, and this can be replaced with 8Y, and that is my answer. Good job, Sean.
How do you get 8y? Yeah.
Isn't R sine theta equal to Y? The formula Y equals R sine theta. So I can replace R sine theta with Y. On number 10, do I need to square both sides or just multiply both sides by R? Multiply both sides by R. That gives me R squared equals negative 6 R cosine theta. R squared can be replaced with X squared plus Y squared equals negative 6. What can I replace that with? X, and that is my answer. Now number 11, 12 is different. I'm going to see how we get this. We're not using the R sine theta, the R cosine theta, or X squared plus Y squared because we got a theta in there. What do you think we could do on that? We're going to use tangent. Very good. Okay. On these, what you do, you take the tangent of both sides. Tangent of theta. How is tangent theta defined in terms of y and x? You can replace that as y over x. Isn't tangent theta mean y over x? Tangent of pi is 0. Because it's negative 1, 0. 0 divided by negative 1. Then you cross multiply. X times 0 is what? So your answer is y equals 0. And I know I'm done because my theta is gone. I just got to get rid of my r and theta. Okay, number 12. Tangent of theta equals tangent of pi over 3. Tangent theta is y over x. What's tangent of pi over 3? Square root of 3. Then you just cross multiply. Y equals square root of 3 times x, and that is your answer. Okay, your assignment, you can start on it now, is page 11, number 18, and then page 12, 39 through 49. You can do all work on that paper. Number 12. Next week, on Monday, what we're going to do is spend the majority of the time reviewing what we learned yesterday and today, and then we're going to start graphing polar equations. When you graph polar equations, guys, it's kind of neat. You're going to graph, they're going to look like flowers, they're going to look like circles, they're going to look like lambisons with inner loops. It's pretty neat. Like you've never graphed anything like that, and I'm going to show you how to do it in the graphing calculator as well.
I record my listen while I talk.
Yeah.
Now, I stop.